All righty.
All right, guys, welcome to another great Lunch and Learn. I'm Alexa Francis House, and today's Lunch and Learn is going to be a little bit different. As you know, for the past few years, I've been the host of all of our Lunch and Learns, and now we will be having an additional host for the vendor-related Lunch and Learns, and that's Kirk Dobson. So, Kirk, if you want to go ahead and come on camera, let me go ahead and introduce you. Oh, there you are. Wave
Can
at
you see me? Can
everybody,
you see
Kirk.
me? All
We can
right.
see you. Welcome, welcome. All right. So Kirk's purchasing career started in the U.S. Air Force more than 30 years ago. His roles include everything from a contracting specialist to a purchasing coordinator to being a director of purchasing for two multi state entities. He holds an MBA with a certification in finance from Nova Southeastern University and bachelor's degrees in management and marketing from Florida Atlantic University. Additionally, he is certified by the American Purchasing Society as a certified purchasing professional and certified professional purchasing manager, and by World CC as a supply relationship management practitioner. So, going forward, you're going to see Kirk's lovely face. I'm going to go ahead and come off camera because Kirk is going to go ahead and introduce today's speakers. Welcome, Kirk.
Howdy. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, good to go.
Yes, good deal. All right. So today I'm introducing Konica Minolta, the fine folks over there. The presenter today is going to be Richard Keir. Richard brings over 35 years of industry experience with an emphasis in digital solutions, software, and managed services. He joined Konica Minolta back in 2024 as a government accounts manager, and previously he held sales leadership positions at Xerox as a global director, channel enablement, and he was with Rico as a strategic account sales manager and a federal national accounts manager. Currently, he's responsible for any and all state, local, and educational consulting that aligns a customer's digital transformation initiative with Konica Minolta's breadth and depth of offerings. So he's going to come on and introduce his team and take it away, Richard.
Well, Kirk, thank you very much for the introduction. Wow, I kind of forgot my own career there, 35 years. So thank you very much for that introduction. I greatly appreciate it. And my esteemed colleagues clearly could share their great experience as well and the breadth and depth of experience in this particular industry. So we're going to do a quick introduction with my team. So I want to say thank you to all of Broward County who's attending. I'm sorry I don't know all the names. I see a lot of initials. So for everyone out there, thank you, welcome, good afternoon, and we look forward to a very collaborative discussion. Please feel free to ask questions. I believe you're going to do that through the chat versus via voice. So feel free to do that. We will pause at various times, ask you if you do have any questions, and we just look forward to this exciting time. So I'm going to move on to the next piece, which is really introductions. So I'm going to start with our government sales rep who handles Broward County. Susan, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Bindis. I've been with Konica Minolta for about 6 years. Thank you for joining us today. I work with government agencies to help streamline document workflow, cut printing costs, and improve security.
Jeff, if you would go next.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Popluter, IT Services Consultant for Konica Minolta. I advise businesses around best practices for implementing new technology, leveraging current technology, whether it be security initiatives, procurement initiatives, just strategic guidance around the business and, day-to-day tactical long-term business executive planning. That's where I sit on usually an IT steering committee with the organization. I've been with Konica since 2013. So I've definitely seen some progression in this industry and just the evolution of how, technology's been embedded into the day-to-day applications and the day-to-day, collaboration and communication internally and externally. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Andrew.
Good afternoon, everybody. Apologize, my camera seems to be disabled, so I can't come on camera, but I promise you I am really here. Andrew Haynes, been with Konica Minolta Direct for about 13 years now, and most of my positions in the company have been on the technical side. And now I support the sales teams with services and solutions. So thinking anything workflow related, especially as it relates to connecting to your MFD devices, and that's my area.
Thanks, Andrew. Wes.
Comments like these are so important.
Yeah, nice to meet everyone. My name is Wes Harden. I am the Director of Strategic Sales, so I oversee a team of 9 reps throughout the state of Florida, and that my team handles all the government and education accounts in the state. So I've been with KM for about 6 years as well. I actually started my career down as the government rep in Broward County, so I've got a lot of relationships down there with you all in various different areas throughout the county. But my main job is to make sure that none of these guys say or do anything inappropriate on this call. So if you've ever got any complaints, I'm the guy to call. I love fielding complaints about Richard or Susan or whoever it is. All right. So keep my number handy.
Well, thanks, Wes. Hopefully you will get 0 calls or emails. So Jeremy.
Good morning, Jeremy Bagenstos. I'm the Regional Director of Government Sales for Konica Minolta, so I'm responsible for the eastern half of the U.S. in oversight of all of our public sector contracts. Richard being a member of my team. And my role at Konica Minolta has developed over the last 16 years with the organization. And if you do have any complaints, please call Wes, not me.
Thank you. Thank you, team. So the agenda for today, we've already completed the introductions. We'll quickly just do a quick overview of the Broward County IT strategic initiatives, specifically the county initiatives. And these are things that we uncovered during our research, as well as conversations with your CIO, Dominic, who informed us of the vision. Then we will discuss how we as at Konica Minolta can align with the initiatives, the vision, with our capabilities. And then we'll also talk a little bit about contract vehicle options, and then we'll wrap up. Again, this is not for us to talk all the way through. We want to be able to make this very collaborative. If there are any questions regarding the agenda, please let me know. If not, we will move on because we're going to be probably right up to the full 45 minutes. Kirk, did anything come through?
No, you're golden.
Okay. Thank you. So as I mentioned before, our team has met with Dominic, and Dominic was kind enough to let us know that these are the strategic initiatives that he actually wrote up. So when we asked about the vision, he said, yeah, I actually wrote these. So the 4 particular areas that we feel that we align very well with are digital transformation, right? Helping you guys go from a very manually intensive process today to a more digitized approach where streamlined workflow processes are in place to reduce the amount of time to make key decisions and to get tasks completed. The other area was around cybersecurity and some discussions about pen testing and security automation and being able to identify potential threats before they become a big threat. The third one, cloud migration and infrastructure, just modernizing the way in which information and data is shared in a secure manner, both internally and externally, making it very transparent to your constituents who want to access information, gain knowledge about things within Broward County. How do you do that? Leveraging cloud migration and infrastructure. And then finally, AI. And look, all of us know whether you're a baby boomer or you're, I don't know what the other one, I guess it's down to Gen Z now. AI is here. All of us are having to make adjustments to it. And as we make adjustments to it, hopefully those adjustments are helping us to enhance our daily work life, and certainly streamlining the workflow processes. And so there's some things that we can offer around leveraging AI to help make your job more effective and efficient. Are there any questions regarding these strategic initiatives as outlined here and what we gained from Dominic? And I'll be relying on you, Kirk, to tell me if anything pops in the chat.
The screen is clear.
Okay. So I'm going to turn this one over to my colleague Susan to talk to you a little bit about why we want to tout that we're MFP line of the year. Susan, take it away.
Okay, great. As you can see on the left there, we were Keypoint Intelligence's MFP line of the year, as well as Innovative Product of the Year. I'm not going to read through these I mean, you can read, so I'm not going to go verbatim, but I'm going to highlight a few things. We automate document workflow, our MFPs, we digitize records and integrate content management systems, enabling faster, more transparent service and delivery. We also, our MFPs are built to run consistently with minimal downtime. This translates to fewer interruptions to your team and less time spent on IT support. With regard to smart infrastructure and mobility, our MFPs act as a secure data capture point, feeding digital infrastructure systems with scanned documents, forms, and reports, supporting smarter decision-making. Our MFPs connect easily with SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox. They make scanning and sharing documents faster and easier. They also support mobile and cloud printing from iOS, Android, and desktops. Digital equity and inclusion. Public-facing MFPs in libraries or community centers can serve as self-service kiosks, allowing residents to scan, print, and access digital forms and services. Our MFPs feature a tablet-like touchscreen with intuitive controls and preset options for common tasks. Even non-technical users can easily print, scan, or copy with minimal training. Could you go to the next screen, please, Richard? Thank you. Sustainability and resilience. Our eco-friendly MFPs reduce paper waste through duplex printing, digital workflows, and energy-efficient design. Energy-efficient modes, low toner waste, and sustainability certifications help you meet green initiatives and lower operating costs. Features like duplex printing, blank page detection, and toner save mode help reduce waste. Workforce development and innovation, modern intuitive MFP interfaces, and cloud integration help staff adapt digital workflows easily. Combined with DX consulting, they foster a more agile, tech-savvy workforce. I will also add that they have built-in hard drive encryption, password protection, secure print release, and automatic deletion of print jobs for added security. They have biometric authentication, which ensures documents only print when the authorized user is present. Secure network integration with IP filtering and malware protection. With regard to cost control, the MFPs can track usage by user or department. You can restrict color printing or set defaults to black and white only to reduce costs. These measures help reduce printing costs by as much as 20 to 30%. Whether you're a small or large department in Broward County, Konica Minolta MFPs offer reliability, innovation, and efficiency. And I will add, as in closing, we are a current vendor of Broward County. We have a great relationship with your print shop. We have equipment in there, as well as with the Parks and Recreation Department. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. And Broward County, please pardon. Listen, like I said, my kids have sucked a lot of brain cells, and I remember saying I want to type the name Fort Lauderdale and Broward County in there. And I was talking to my son about Tampa, and I typed Tampa. So pardon that typo there, folks. We'll call it a senior moment on my part. So I ask for your forgiveness on that. I also want to mention what's not here is ADA compliant and the things that we do around to support those who might be challenged, whether it's visually challenged. Andrew and I experienced that in setting up a device for someone who is visually impaired. So there's some things that can be done for those who are a little bit more challenged and need a little bit more assistance. Our devices can be customized and personalized to that individual or those individuals. So if there are any questions regarding that, please let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to Andrew because I don't see anything in the chat. Kurt, correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't see anything.
You are correct. Move on.
Andrew.
Right. Thank you, Richard. So this slide, guys, is really to just kind of show you how Konica Minolta approaches security, right? And I know oftentimes we hear security and our minds immediately go to the IT side of the house, right? Where we're talking about firewalls and that kind of stuff and infrastructure in the county. But what we're talking about here, what I do in my area at least, is we talk about security from the MFP perspective, right? And so we started the basic level, right? And with the basic level, Konica Minolta does things like encrypt everything in storage on the device, automatic overriding, not allowing that temporary data to be stored and possibly retrieved. We also partnered with Bitdefender to create an antivirus software that goes onto all of our MFPs at this point, right? And that gives you the same protection that you have within the rest of the county, right? Because every laptop, every computer, every piece of hardware that you have on your network currently has an antivirus software. And, I'm sure we're all aware that multifunction devices today are essentially just another computer on your network. So after we get through that basic level, and that's just your basic protection, we start talking about access control, right? So access control is essentially, protecting different workflows, protecting data that's moving through the copier, protecting print jobs even, right, from unintended access, right? So that'll be, authenticating with a PIN code, with your badge, with a fingerprint even, to be able to get your print jobs. We move on to the third level, which is document security. And it's almost a continuation of access control where, maybe we're swiping our badge to get a print job. That kind of bleeds over into document security, but we also get a little more intense there where we can also talk about the transmission of the print job, not just whether or not it's sending on the copier after it's printed out. We also do things like this even relates to encrypted PDFs, right? So any kind of document security lives in that layer. Go on to the next layer, which is breach detection, and we start watching the activity on the MFP for anything that the county has determined should not be done, right, within the organization. So we can look for things like, maybe there's constituent information, social security numbers or something that pass through any department within the county that should never be copied or should never be printed, right? So we can watch for activities, very specific activities like that, and set rules that will alert and stop that behavior, and possibly have a breach of your constituent data on your network. And then the final layer, the most broad, right? We make this the base of it because it covers everything, is centralizing the security management of the fleet, right? So this is where we give you a dashboard of your entire fleet to manage the policies, to manage the security settings, and even automatically remediate them if there's let's say there's a bad actor that is intentionally trying to circumvent some security measures you have in place. So that covers, and believe it or not, I have a large portfolio, and almost everything in my portfolio that I cover, my area of expertise, falls into one of these categories. So if any of those, if you have any questions or any of those kind of pique your interest, I know that all of those aren't necessarily available with all vendors. So I'd love to be able to go into more detail if you'd like.
I think we're all good there, Andrew. I don't see anything in the chat.
I've got a
Thank you
question.
very much.
There is one
But we
question.
certainly will come back around.
There is one question.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
this is from Bob Gleason. Recognizing we're operating in a competitive environment, what would you describe as key factors that distinguish Konica Minolta from other industry players?
That's a great question. I certainly can answer it, but I'll have one of our leaders, Jeremy or Wes. Would you like to answer that particular question? Give you guys a chance to speak.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
Yeah,
Tag team
so,
it.
you know, the biggest thing when it comes to MFD providers is going to be the service coverage, in my opinion. A lot of the devices, there are some differentiators as far as security concerns that we've talked about in the presentation. But one of the biggest things is the ability to respond, to be on site within a certain period of time. An MFD being down in a department tends to be a little more impactful than we'd like it to be as a business or as an entity in the public sector. So being able to have factory trained technicians based in your area is going to be the biggest thing to be able to support Broward County and be able to be responsive. Wes?
Yeah, I agree with Jeremy there, and I would also say that we've got such a vast and wide portfolio of everything that we're a one-stop shop for you. So if you need somebody to respond quickly, Jeff in IT, Jeff lives in your area. For MFP, Susan's there, along with the techs and the branch that we have right there in Sunrise. So we have not only just a wide, vast portfolio of products, but we have specialists that live in your area. And everything that we offer, if something goes wrong or you need something, we can respond quickly, from service to IT support. And we offer so many products. We really are just a one-stop shop, and none of our competition or competitors can say that they have the same amount of offerings and expertise that we do.
Thanks, Jeremy and Wes. Kirk, anything else before we move on?
Nope. This is from an experience, on-site support and fast response is important to us, as machines sometimes do have issues. So that's I guess just kind of piggybacking what you guys said.
Excellent. Okay, great. I will continue on. So we, as Wes and Jeremy has mentioned already, our experience in working with state, local governments in the state of Florida. One of the things, the common themes that we see in all of them, and in fact, a county that bumps up against you guys that we have worked with in a number of different areas, is that all counties seem to struggle with a lot of manual processes and dealing with legacy systems. I know Dominic has done a fantastic job in, the transformation, the digital transformation, and continues to do that. We would love to partner in those areas to make things digital first, leveraging more mobile friendly devices, or at least being accessing and collaborating, while others that may be remote, using digital devices, and just helping with that compliance and transparency, because we know constituents in the county, it doesn't matter whether it's Broward, Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, Martin, Orange, Hillsborough. There's always people that will say, hey, it's not easy to do business with a county, and I can't access this, that, or the other, or why do I have to do this? So our goal is to help make those processes internally and externally easier to do business with Broward County. So with that said, I wanted to share with you a little bit about the area that integrates very well with our MFDs, and again, our award-winning MFDs. Well, and with what Jeremy and Wes were saying, the level of support based on what Bob's question, and we have a practice group within Konica Minolta known as the Intelligent Information Management Practice Group. And I won't go through each and every one of these three circles, but what's important here to understand is that they emphasize solving customers' workflow challenges, making things easier for knowledge workers to complete their tasks effectively and efficiently while being accurate and doing it in a secure fashion or model, right? And so some of the areas we offer in this practice group happens to be ECM. ECM from a large enterprise content management perspective, think of it that perspective, to much smaller scale on the document management side. So we partner with Highland more for the large enterprise content management business challenges and workflow enhancements. And then if you're looking at it from a work group or small departments, we might consider Square 9 at a much smaller level that can be customized and personalized for that particular work group or department. When you pair these, whether it's Square 9 or Highland, enterprise content or document management, you want to have a very strong front end with a capture solution. And that capture solution can be intelligent data capture, where it basically is able to read the data, the content and context, and be able to make some determinations on what that information is and where it needs to go and how it needs to be captured and catalog or catalog, right? And so then on a smaller scale, if there's just some smaller remote data capture that may be needed, somebody's out in the field and they need to capture some data and they need the metadata as well, and they need this to be forced into or submitted into an application on the back end, being able to streamline that without having to go back to one's laptop, save, send it to yourself, save it, put it on your drive there, send it up, and then just doing a whole reconfiguration and reworking of it. There are things that we can address around that. And then, what's important to keep in mind, I said it earlier about artificial intelligence. We have tools and solutions that help with that aspect of artificial intelligence, integrating it with other solutions, including the MFP if need be, and leveraging robotic process automation to handle some of the what we'll call the more mundane tasks or low priority tasks. So are there any questions around our IIM, we call it Intelligent Information Management Practice?
I don't see any questions, but Dominic, I don't know who you guys know, but Dominic was able to jump on the call and he's offering some color commentary.
Yeah,
and I guess go
I'll
ahead, Dom.
throw in.
There you go.
Thank you, and
Cool.
good to see the Minolta team again since the last briefing. So just to provide comments, I know my writing isn't always elegant, so I'll try to speak it as best as possible. We're already active in several solutions in your first circle, our intelligent content solutions there. We have several initiatives in place already. In the automation piece, the AI and Gen AI pieces are moving forward with an improved policy with 3 Gen AI tools to be rolled out to the county. We're not really looking at the RPA per se because that's kind of an older version of robotic and more AI space. So we moved into RAG, Vice RPA. Document processing gets into workflow automation and also ties into your invoice captures a service and DMAS. For ETS, we don't really focus on the third circle. That's more of understanding business process automations and where existing infrastructure. When we also met, I did share we have a pretty sophisticated infrastructure and tool set across the way. So my only hesitation with some of the things you're offering is integration with our existing tech portfolio. I'm not looking to replace current investments with things that are already out there. I'm looking to enhance as well as modulate where best of breed can fit within my current portfolio. Thank you.
Thanks, Dominic.
And thank you, Dominic. That's a great point. And none of this was intended to share with all of you that we are looking to rip and replace. We are actually looking to partner with you, become a trusted advisor, and enhance in areas whereby, maybe there's some gaps, and being able to fill those gaps, whether it's at a work group, department, division, or enterprise. But it sounds at this point that we might be able to help fill some gaps, maybe at a work group or department level, if I'm not over speaking, Dominic.
No, that's fine.
Okay, great. And so there's another area I wanted to share, and I'm going to be very brief because of time. I want to make sure I'm leaving enough time for Jeff. I don't think we've had an opportunity. I think Bob, last year, you and a few members of your team, we talked a little bit about collaboration tools that we could share with not only the procurement team, but with other departments within Broward County. And Konica Minolta has partnered with Newline. And if anybody knows anything about interactive panels, Newline is one of the leaders in the industry. And so we've had conversations, like I said, with Broward, certainly engaged in some transactions with other counties around the state of Florida. And so what we're talking to them about is how these interactive panels can offer a more streamlined, a more collaborative way of hosting meetings and trainings and events and gatherings, and some of the things around the Newline devices. They range from 55 inches to 98 inches. Now, mind you, you can wall mount these. You can also put them on a mobile, almost like a mobile cart, mobile stand. You can certainly even put the 98-inch one on a mobile stand. Probably not as recommended as doing the 55 or 65 or 75, but you can certainly move these from one conference room or one meeting area to the other. These are also seamlessly integrated with Google Apps, as you can see here. And anything in the Google ecosystem, the Newline interactive panels is able to integrate with rather seamlessly. It's a 4K display with about 178-degree viewing angle. So if you're in a very large conference room and people are spread out from one corner to the other, their viewing is very, very good. And including the sound as well, with about 20 watts of sound coming through the integrated speakers. So you likely will not need to have speakers, external speakers, but you can certainly do that. You can have them either tied in directly to it, or you can Bluetooth those speakers if you really wanted to. For those of you who are a little bit more technical, this is an Android 13 operating system, and it has its own built-in Wi-Fi with 30 connected devices. So there's a lot of power when it comes to the Newline interactive panels. I'm going to stop there. If anybody is interested, I'd love to take this offline and share more. I don't want to take too much time away from Jeff, but if there's something real quick, I certainly can get into some more use cases. Dominic, I think you had mentioned, if I can, could I table that one and just give Jeff an opportunity and then come back?
Yes.
Okay. Great, because I definitely would like to spend more time on this one. Jeff?
All right, ready to rock and roll. And Dominic and Richard, those devices are actually really cool. We have one of them in our office. You referenced kind of a used case. We do use them a lot as kind of like mobile presentation boards or mobile conference rooms, if you will, because that panel is on a platform, can move really anywhere with you, maybe not necessarily in an elevator sense of its sheer size. But if there is a digital displayage, smaller or a larger one that needs to go in a conference room, And we actually have a demo that can be presented around, somebody so far back in a room, yet it, autofocuses and captures the audio very well. So we can discuss a use case for that later on. New line boards are pretty neat. Security is a great topic of discussion. For anybody that has not heard my quick introduction, Jeff Poplar, IT Services for All Covered, which is the IT division of Konica Minolta. We present on this slide quite often because it does discuss the proactive, offensive, and defensive security layer in a business as an entirety. I say an entirety, but it's protective from a user standpoint. It's proactive from a user standpoint, detective and responsive from a middle ground, whether that be application, network layer, whether it be application and actually threat detection from any of the SOC services, SIM services, managed UTM services, and then future state planning around testing, around different scanning services, whether it be vulnerability management services or like any gap assessment, risk assessment, penetration testing services. And then we have the offensive security. That's more or less emulating actual testing. We like to think of it as, would you rather have the hacker that testing, managing, supporting, consulting with, or be the next news article? And we try to keep you out of the news for the wrong reasons and keep you in the news for the right reasons. I see many articles related to different counties or different whether it be the environment or education or government sector. I can see many articles that are positive pertaining, and we never want to be one on Google that is negative relating to. So many clients do work with us to kind of keep them out of the news and ensure they're in a healthy state. There are many technology services that you see here, and a lot of them could be renewal based or procurement based. That could be looking at the list here, just to name you one, managed endpoint detection and response. We use a product called SentinelOne. We use another product called KnowBe4, security awareness training. These are things that are typically purchased on a license-based and then either managed and supported or then deployed across the end user based on their devices. So if it's an easy procurement renewal license, we can handle that easily for you. If it is something like a SIM or a SOC, which requires our security operations center team to handle, manage, and secure, and as detection and responses come in, we can help remediate. I know your team is probably well adapted as well, but if there's 24/7 backend support, this is just a layered approach which we offer to many clients, and it's very piecemeal in its efforts. I'll pause. I'll ask, I'll leave this here for questions. I didn't want to go through each layer, but this is a, holistic security posture in which we, operate upon for many clients. And then Richard, maybe there's another slide to follow this. If there is any question, now's a good time. If not, we can always share and come back to this.
Yeah, I don't see any questions so far. You guys continue.
A little bit more about who we are as a national coverage. I'm a 954 guy. I'm local. I have a dedicated team here locally as well. We operate kind of in regional pods. We're in 32 locations nationwide. 750 employees that are all engineers, W2 Konica Minolta client or Konica Minolta employees. We are a SOC 2 Type 2 infrastructure. Just kind of looking at some stats here about who we are, what we do. One's good, Richard. Anything else there?
I think we're good. I'm going to, because time-wise, we're going to get to the last slide, which is a contract vehicle options. And I'm going to let Susan and team, we can talk about this because each one of us is very familiar with it. But Susan, kick this one off.
I'm sorry, keep what?
I said, go ahead and kick this one off.
Okay, I'm sorry. We utilize many different contracts with our governmental, our public sectors. The NASPO and state of Florida is the most common, but we also sometimes utilize Sourcewell and Omnia, depend if there's a special circumstance or maybe they have an item on contract that is not on NASPO. I always tell everybody when I'm dealing with the smaller agencies, this kind of gives you Walmart buying power, but with the size of Broward County, you can utilize the benefits of the terms and conditions that are within these contracts. And I know, Richard, I think there was a question in the chat with regard to the new line.
Yeah, I addressed that. Dominic and I are going to go ahead and do an offline meeting regarding that. He shared some additional information. So rather than taking up the time with about 3 minutes left, I think this might be a great time to pause. Kirk, I want to turn it over to you to see if there's any, last minute questions and feedback.
I don't see any questions in the chat, but and I'm not sure if Bob wanted to say anything, but I wanted to thank you on behalf of the county and the purchasing division, and especially the vendor management office, for coming out and sharing, giving some insight on what you guys have to offer. Thank you. And I think that you guys actually 2 minutes to spare.
Well, I hope that 2 minutes is better than the competition was able to do. I hope they all went over and everybody got frustrated. And
every single one of them went over. All right, thank you so much, guys. And you said you have a more detailed deck to share, right? So I'll socialize that with everyone on the call once we're all, just to give them some reference material. And again, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
All right.